Oh gosh! Morning guys, well welcome to the garage, and a lot of people have been asking me, texting me and commenting, how did it go, the Hadrian's Wall walk coast to coast, and absolutely brilliant guys, absolutely brilliant. Yes, I would do it again. I would change some of the kit, even though I put a fair bit of planning into the stuff that I was going to take. It was the first long solo walk that I'd done, so learnt a lot. Brilliant. What would I change? I would swap, because of the environment and that I was in, I would swap the tarp and the bivvy for a small lightweight tent. Main reason is for the privacy. I really didn't expect so many people to be actually wandering around in the middle of nowhere. So that's a mistake and a bad on my part, so lesson learnt there. And well, trying to wash with hand wipes in a bivvy, like a hooped bivvy, with a little tarp over the top of you, doesn't give you any privacy whatsoever, and certainly not enough room. So that proved problematic, shall we say. Yeah, so a little tent where you could move around inside and, you know, do your bits and pieces, certainly so. What else would I change? The amount of food that I took. Now, even with the amount of research I done, I was absolutely astounded by the many places you could acquire food from, and of course water. Now, there was parts where you would have maybe 8 miles gap where you couldn't get food and water, but provided you stocked up, you know, you was doing okay. The filtration systems, now, the filtration systems I had, they didn't cope with pesticides, and there is a lot of farming that takes place in the area I went to the extent that some of the watercourses that I saw had all this sort of frothing foam on it, and I thought, So, by and large, in fact, 100%, I sourced my water from taps, from houses, from pubs and cafes and petrol stations and all these various places that you come across on the walk. What else would I change? I would certainly take Vaseline or petroleum jelly or pseudo cream. Some of the sores that I acquired from chafing because of the trousers and everything, I would definitely take that sort of stuff again. What else? What else would I change? I did take some items like bushcraft, a ferrocerium rod and a small Mora knife and some cordage, and that's just through habit. Now, even though I might have used those just occasionally, I would still take them. I would feel more secure and comfortable knowing that I had some sort of equipment if anything did go wrong, so I'll definitely take that. I took 2 phones for safety reasons, and I would still take 2 phones for safety reasons, just in case. The battery, I took some mobile chargers for my phone. The battery life on my phone, well, it just disappeared, mainly because of the amount of filming I was doing. But the chargers that I took were the little cylindrical ones, and I can't think of the name of them. They were supposed to, one cylinder, charge the phone. Well, it didn't. You was lucky if you could get about a quarter to a half charge out of it. So that was that's something I would change. I'd have a different sort of power pack to charge it. What else would I have changed? My water. Now, I actually carried them in the US water bowls, which is just under a litre. I think it's about 875, 880 mils of water. Now, I had 2 of those, and originally they were in like the pouches on the side, which was more weight in the bag. But what I found was hooking them on the front with carabiners, you didn't feel the weight. You could carry quite comfortably 2 litres of water on the front, and it was easy to drink and gauge. I didn't take like a platypus or a reservoir at all, because I just couldn't gauge how much water was left. So once one bottle was finished, I knew I had a bottle left, which was like just under a litre. So as that started to go down, I was making calls to find more water. On that note, I suppose it was a kind of a spiritual thing as well, that you realise and understand what it is you need, not what you would like, what you would need. And for me, there was 3 priorities, and it's what I needed. I needed water. That was it, simple. That was the first thing that was constantly on my mind. I didn't really think about much else, but it was water. Where am I going to get my next lot of water from? The weather was quite warm. In fact, it was lovely. I got sunburned, so I had sunscreen with me, and most of the times I made some sort of protective cover for my head. But sweating a lot, hell of a lot, and I did have rehydration salts with me, so that was good. Now, on a medical thing, gout. I suffer with gout, and basically it's to be up with uric acid. Even though I was drinking a lot of water, I wasn't weeing a lot of water. So most of the water was evaporating, which meant the concentration within my body, if you like, probably went up, yeah? And so the uric acid levels may have gone up, because once I'd finished the walk and my mind had gone off of the blisters and the pain and all the rest of it, I realised that the gout had kicked in. Now, the pain of the gout, which is severe enough, but it wasn't a severe case, was basically masked by the dirty great blisters and everything else that I had on my feet, which you just carried on like trooping through. And it's amazing how you can actually get over the discomfort and learn how to get over the discomfort of blisters. But anyway, so water, that was the main thing. Yeah, you definitely need to be able to get water and judge how much you've got, how long it's going to last you, and when you're going to source the next lot. The next thing that was on my mind was shelter. Because of the problems with the bivvy, and a hell of a lot of condensation in the bivvy, absolutely ridiculous amounts. So the bivvy and the tarp, shelter was on my mind all the time. And where am I going to put my head down tonight? Where am I going to get to sleep? At night, the temperature really did drop. So, not to the point where, you're going to freeze to death, but it definitely got cold. So that was my next fault. And then it was food. Now, all the stuff that I prepared, my noodles, I didn't even touch them. I didn't touch the noodles and the stuff that went with it. I lived on trail nuts, chocky bars, and when I came across a calf, anything that I could eat and afford and get down my throat, actually, amazing meals that I did have before I went out on the trail. But when I was out, if I could find a restaurant that done steak and chips, I did actually eat steak. For some unknown reason, my body didn't want steak. It wanted things like fish and pasta. And even though I had it here, that wasn't enough. So anyway, I'm waffling a little bit there, but they were the priorities that I had. And when I say spiritual, it was to the extent that walking along and the wind hitting you in the face, you think, oh, please, just give me an hand up this hill, give me a push, and the wind would change. Now, I don't know if that's fate or what it is, but the wind would change and it'd push you up the hill, and little things like that you noticed. And you thought, oh, I need to find some water. Where am I? And you look at your map and there's not a single building, like, on your map. Oh, and definitely take OS maps with you. Do not trust your phones. You can't get a signal most of the time when you're on Hadrian's Wall. Don't trust your phone or a GPS satellite doobry thing. Take a phone, take a map and a compass, definitely. Anyway, so you wouldn't find anything. You go, oh, I just need to find somewhere to get some water from. And you all of a sudden come across a building. You think, well, it's not even on the map. Excellent result. So, yeah, it became a case of what you needed, not what you thought you wanted or needed. Brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. Yes, I would definitely do it again. Newcastle, fantastic. I got home. I was home 2 days before I think I fully realised I was actually at home. Which is an odd thing to say, I know. It's bizarre. I slept like a log. It was brilliant. But I didn't realise just how exhausted I was I think probably the adrenaline and all the sights and the concentration and the focus of actually completing the objective was the main thing. And I knew I was at home, but I didn't realise I was at home for about 2 days. So if you're going to do something like this walk, do allow yourself recovery time for when you do actually get home. You know, don't do a walk like that and then expect to go to work a day after you've come home, because it just ain't going to happen. Your feet won't let you for a start because they're covered in blisters. You've got to sort all that out. But well, anyway, thanks for all your support. It was absolutely brilliant. The Facebook, which is what took up most of my batteries, I was wandering along, the comments, the help, the assistance, people that were saying hi and stuff on the way. It was absolutely lovely. It really, really was. I met some really, really lovely people. Hi to Mick. And hi to Dave and Joe, I believe it was. My 2 Canadian friends from the Air Force, the Paras from B Company that I bumped into, the 2 Americans that had come over, husband and wife. They had come over for just a little trip, like you do, a little trip over to England to walk Hadrian's Wall. There was loads of people. Mike, if I haven't already mentioned you, mate, hello mate, you all right? And anyway, there was loads of people, so thanks ever so much. It was brilliant. It's gone out on YouTube. I need 2 people to subscribe to give me 100. Now that'd be great. Like if I could get 100 subscribers, I'd be over the moon. So anyway, my desk. The cave is in a bit of a mess. I've got to sort all that out. I need to sort out all my equipment. Proper walking boots. Get proper walking boots. Make sure you've got them broken in before you do the walk, wherever you're going. I did come across a lot of people that wish they hadn't tried doing it in trainers and things like that. So careful on that one. Your bag. Get the best bag you can get for the money you've got. And well, anyway, if you didn't know any more, just give me like a, messages and things at the bottom, and I'll try and answer them, guys. But I do intend to do something like it again. I'll do some more research and I will try and sort out like a more appropriate equipment. Well, anyway, I'm waffling. I'm now back at work. I've now got today off, and then I'm back to work tomorrow. So a whole day off, whoopee, and we'll take it from there. Now you be good, you be safe, and you keep smiling. And thanks ever so again, everybody, for all your help. It's a bit of a long video, and I know I'm waffling on, but ayo, it was quite a milestone. I quite enjoyed it. But right, you be good. Catch you later. All the best, guys. Bye.